Hey, shalom, 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 everyone. My name is Zachariah Yahouda, coming back with another lesson, prophesying the downfall of Babylon, aka America, home where all the gross abomination occur. I'm just coming back with another one, getting it in. Mouthed up all yesterday, trying to stay on fire for the Lord. Today I went out and I'm just seeing, man, our people, man, they just cold-hearted toward one another, And the Bible said we supposed to be, we supposed to be, the Bible said, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Like that's the type of spirit we supposed to have for our fellow Israelite sisters and brothers. But what I'm seeing is hatred. And that hatred come from Esau Edom, man. He programmed people to be like that. As the priest out of Mississippi, I was landing back with him on the lesson. I was doing a lesson with him, and I went into that with that new Brave New World Order. I think that's the name of the book. But anyway, make a long story, Brave New World, I think. Let me see. Title of it. Still kind of sleepwalking. So I said I was gonna do about 3-4 parts on it. The Brave New World. Alex, Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. Man, listen, man, these devils, man, is wicked as hell, man. And they got our people under this vibrating this spell, and they using all type of witchcraft toward our people, man, and our people are hooked under these spells. That's why they hate one another. Hate their fellow sisters and brothers. I was trying to get on the bus. The driver, he was driving real slow, like he was playing with me. And then I'm running to try to get on the bus. The fucker still currently moving real slow. Like he, just toying with me, And I know the driver, I know the so-called black bus driver doing that shit. But it's okay. It kind of messed my day up. But I was kind of tired anyway. I had been up all night prophesying. So, and I, when I don't get that rest like that, I get angry. I get real angry. So I kind of got my rest, so I'm feeling better now. Ready to go at it again. Okay. So I want to go into, this is not going to be part of the lesson that I wanted to continue. I'm trying to keep them separated. But anyway, I'm doing I went into the notes, some of my footnotes from the lesson that I did. And I doing research on words, I look up words and stuff as well, So this is what I come up with, man. I want to share this with y'all. Hold on here. This is deep. And this is what the priest was going into yesterday in his lesson that he was doing. It's one of the units that was part of my lesson that I was working on. And it's techniques and digital strategies used to shift societal norms, values, and ethical judgment on a large scale, while traditionally used in cybersecurity to trick individuals. These techniques are increasingly employed in social and political and cultural contexts to manipulate, influence, or deceive people into accepting new moral framework or frameworks, changing their behavior or redefining what they consider to be right or wrong. And that's what I be seeing, man. A lot of people, man, they know something is morally wrong, but it's normal to them. So, they don't think nothing else of it. And that's what these devils have done to our people, man. So these people are spiritual castrated. Okay? It said people into accepting new moral frameworks, changing their behavior or redefining what they consider to be right or wrong, what reshaping morality means in this context. This process involves altering the collective conscience or moral compass of a group. It means moving beyond just influencing, purchasing, or decisions to changing deep-seated beliefs about truth and reality, using misinformation or disinformation to alter perception of facts. See, a process often associated with gaslighting on a societal scale. Ethical boundaries are gradually normalizing behaviors that were previously considered taboo, unethical, or unacceptable. Social norms shifting what is considered acceptable, polite, or normal in public discourse. The key tools for reshaping morality, and this is what this man trying to do, right? Social engineers use various psychological triggers and digital tools to achieve these shifts. Okay, it said social proof platform-driven virility. Virility. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Virility. It says people are more likely to adopt a behavior if they see others doing it. See, algorithms on TikTok, YouTube, or other platforms can rapidly amplify specified narratives or behaviors, making extreme viewpoints appear mainstream. And this is what's going on right now. It said authority and impersonations, manipulating people by impersonating trusted sources, etc. It said experts, officials, accounts, or influencers, when a perceived authority figure supports a new moral stance, individuals are more likely to comply and adapt it. So gaslighting and disinformation, persistent, systematic lying, and a denial to cause people to doubt their own memory, perception, or reality. This breaks down existing firm moral foundations, framing and narrative control, placing information within a specific context to manipulate how it is understood. This often involves using emotive language by bypass logical reasoning. The foot in the door technique, commitment and consistency, encouraging people to agree to a small, seemingly innocent change in belief or behavior, then gradually increasing the request to more extreme. And this is what these devils are doing, these fucking elites, okay? And this is what they have been doing for fucking 20, 30 years, okay? Now we done got to the end of this thing, you know? Now they ready to come with this new world order agenda. Locked and loaded. Okay, that's I said I was gonna use Elder, which I'm still are. Use Elder Pasha Gabbard video. And I'm gonna be going back and forth in some of his lessons. And you know, and I'm gonna continue to bring my precept while he bring what he's bringing. Okay, so it says increasing the request to more extreme, fundamentally different moral positions. Okay, exploiting fear and urgency, creating artificial crisis, etc. Our way of life is under threat to push the people into hasty, emotionally driven, and less rational ethic decisions. See? Mechanism of change. These tools often work by targeting social reference, people who are highly influential within a group, to change the norm for the rest of the group. It said the goal is to move a society to a tipping point. And this is what they trying to do. This is what Donald Trump and them ICE agents doing. Where a new often controversial norm becomes self-sustaining. Example of this include the rise of specific online communities, etc., incels, trade wives, that amplify niche or extremist ideologies through platform algorithms or political movements that use social media, bot networks, and troll forums. It said to alter public debate and social identity. Implication, this form of social engineering is viewed as a major threat to political stability, free independence and discourse, and democratic structures. It can lead to increased polarization and distortion of reality, where trust in systems is broken and truth becomes subjective. See, and that's what we're seeing. Okay, so artificial care, natural bonds, bottle embryos replace maternal care with mechanical nurture. Emotional attachment and spiritual growth are sacrificed. Humanity becomes obedient machinery. Families are replaced with systemic control. So this is what they've been doing for the last 20, 30 years. That's how Jake ended up in institution, becoming institutionalized. Okay, and this is what they go to destroy the male. This is Esau's ultimate goal, is to destroy Jake, you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, by any means necessary, man. They using the spirit of Egypt when Pharaoh told them to preserve the life. I'm just roughly paraphrasing. The female housewife, midwives, but destroy the son, the male, so to speak. And this is the same scenario that's playing out right now. And it's been playing out for the last 40 years. So that's why you got the penitentiary full of emotional ass men, young men. You got football numbers in there, man. You got some of them niggas ain't gonna see this, they gonna die behind bars. And more so than ever right now because, man, we at the end of this devil end of this, the end of an age, so to speak. It said family are replaced with systemic control, modern parallels, state care, and engineered loyalty over familial bond. It said, what does this mean, and how does it affect today's people in America? Okay, this describes a dystopian science fiction scenario, reminiscent of Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, where technology has replaced human reproduction and emotional nurturing. That's what we're seeing right now with all they building all these AI data centers. That's all they want, man. That's all they concerned about, data centers. And as you gonna see when I go back into the video that I was watching, that's where I said I was gonna start up on. It said it explored the transition from organic familial upbringing to a sterile manufactured existence. Detailed breakdown of the meaning bottled embryos replace maternal care with mechanical nurture. So biological in utero development is replaced by laboratory in vitro gas station, removing the mother child bond from birth, emotional attachment and spiritual growth are sacrificed. The focus is on physical efficiency rather than the nurturing of a soul or deep emotional bond, leading to a shallow existence. Humanity becomes obedient machinery. Remember I told you they trying to make man cyborgs. Okay? It said humans are engineered to fit into a system acting as productive, mindless cogs rather than independent thinkers. They don't want no independent thinkers. It said families are replaced with systemic control. The traditional nuclear or extended family structure is abolished. It said with the state or a corporation acting as the sole guardian and influencer. Are we not seeing this with Palantir and all these different BlackRock, Blackstone? You see, it says, let's read that again. It said the traditional nuclear or extended family structure is abolished with a state or a corporation acting as the sole guardian, wow, or influencer. Modern parallels, state care or engineered loyalty This referred to the fear that government or large organization will prioritize loyalty to a system over loyalty to one's own family or personal conscience. It said how this affect people in America today. It said while not literally in bottles, several contemporary American trends align with the anxieties expressed in this quote. Technology and reproduction, IVF and future tech, while the virtue fertilization, as IVF, is the blessing for many, the storage, selection, and disposal of embryos, sometimes viewed as bottled, raise ethical questions about treating life as a commodity. So, research into artificial womb ectogenesis aim to help premature babies, but critics worry about it replacing natural bonding, state-sponsored nurture, as more parents in America work multiple jobs. Child care often becomes institutionalized early, replacing one-on-one maternal paternal care with state-regulated mechanical schooling systems, reducing time for family-led emotional development, digital obedient machinery, the dominance of social media and algorithms encourages conformity and obedient behavior, where individuals, particularly youth, are groomed to be consumers rather than thinkers. Engineer loyalty over family. The rise the rise of online communities and political ideologies sometimes create a fictive kinship where individuals place more loyalty in an ideological group, organization, or the state that in their own biological traditional family, leading to polarization. It says, in essence, the text is a warning against replacing human, emotional, and organic bond with technical, efficient, and systemic control, which, if left unchecked, can lead to dehumanized society. And this is what we're seeing. This has been going on for, 20, 30 years? Okay. So let's do this here. Fair use under copyright statute of 1976.
Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 defines fair use, allowing limited, unlicensed use of copyrighted material. This includes things like criticism, news reporting, teaching, and research. It balances public interest with copyright owner rights by considering the purpose of the use, the nature of the work, the amount used, and the effect on the market. For legal advice, consult a professional.
So fair use, I'm not monetized. I'm not getting paid for this. Strictly for educational purposes, such as commenting, news, reporting, teaching, and so on. Damn, man, I need to go get me some cough drop. Man, I should just go and turn this into a walk and talk list and go to the store and grab the things I need. All right. I'll be all right. Let's go and keep going. So I want to go back to the priest video. Actually, I want to go here first. So let's go here to hold on, y'all. Bear with me here. Oh, I know what I was doing. Let's go right here. Two. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, this ain't what I wanted. Might be this one right here. Yeah, this it. Oop, that ain't it neither. I think this one it right here. Okay. So yeah, this is going back to the video that I was playing.
Remember how excited
This is what
you
they
were
want.
when Junior finally went off to college? Well, now college is over, Mom and Dad, and here comes Junior's student loan debt. Is private student loan debt wrecking your family's life? You really need.
Every adult will need a new government-issued digital ID.
A digital ID.
Having all of your personal information stored in one place.
We will spare no effort to make Europe an AI continent.
To integrate you into this great reset.
So how soon could central bank digital currencies become a reality?
You know, we should be helping countries to develop a national digital infrastructure.
The second episode is in production. Visit digitaldystopiafilm.com to support our next film on digital ID.
Imagine every purchase you make, every app you use, every place you visit, all contributing to a single digital profile, a personal digital identity. This way, many details of your life could be stored in a unified digital record. That profile might eventually connect with your bank, your doctor, your employer, government agencies, and even your car.
To deal with challenges, but also to build at the same time.
This isn't science fiction. It's a vision that organizations like the World Economic Forum are advocating, and that governments and tech companies are gradually moving toward. The rollout of this digital ID infrastructure is truly global and coordinated. Oracle founder and billionaire Larry Ellison emphasizes the need to feed AI systems an immense amount of all available government data.
For what government should do in terms of its digital infrastructure, digital ID, data centers, and so on.
The first thing a country needs to do is to unify all of their data so it can be consumed and used by the AI model. Basically, I have to tell the AI model as much about my country as I can. If you want to improve population health, you have to take all of your healthcare data, your diagnostic data, your electronic health records, your genomic data.
The benefits are clear. Digital ID will make our interactions with each other and with the state faster, cheaper, and more reliable.
Stay with me. This isn't some distant future. Steps toward it are already underway.
Facial recognition can now spot suspects in real time from live video, tracking organized criminals at borders, in public spaces, even helping find missing people.
There are cameras on top of the van that scan everyone's faces as they walk past.
Tony Blair is a technocrat. He believes basically that the people at the top need to decide everything themselves. And if you could have total control over everybody, everything would be wonderful. This is the Chinese model.
Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison predicts AI surveillance will be part of our everyday lives in the future. Ellison said AI will soon play a major role in monitoring society through a vast network of interconnected cameras.
The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
But what it will do is create the digital control infrastructure, which then lays the groundwork for all your activities and all of your behavior to be managed by the government and for you to be rewarded or disincentivized in relation to certain behavior. That is the Chinese social credit system, where if you are a good citizen, quote unquote, you can do things that other people cannot do. And if you're a bad citizen, quote unquote, you can't even buy a train ticket to go to a different city. This is where it's going.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished
because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
To see this in action, look at China. Some pilot dystopian cities are evolving into highly monitored environments. Cameras track most of your movements, sensors follow patterns of behavior, and algorithms influence what people can buy, where they can travel, and even whom they interact with.
If you thought the way Facebook tracks you was scary, it's got nothing on the Chinese government. Chinese government insists it has a great reason for doing this.
Here, in this Shanghai surveillance center, no resident goes unwatched.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social credit.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it, and anyway, we don't have a choice.
But people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
All of this is presented as serving the greater good, saving the environment, reducing crime, and creating a more efficient society. What does a fully connected surveillance state really look like? These pilot cities have an all-seeing system with virtually no escape. Faces have become keys to access buildings and services. There's nowhere to hide, as everything is monitored, smartphones, smart cars, smart buildings, all interconnected. In such a system, it's hard to break rules without being noticed. Already, millions have experienced some form of restricted access, often dictated by algorithmic assessments.
This talk of centralized digital currency, that's what they have in China. If you fuck up in China and you get a bad social credit score because you tweeted something they didn't like, now you can't buy a plane ticket. Now you can't buy a car. Now you can't get a loan. Now you can't do something. You step the fucking line and people self-censor.
Here's a hot take. If you have a message inside you that people are meant to hear, it'll never make the impact that it truly deserves. And
you step the fucking line and people self-censor.
While this is unfolding thousands of miles away, similar developments are emerging in the West. Digital identity programs, surveillance grids, real-time tracking, complex databases, and carbon footprint systems. This is an ever-growing concern, as many of these initiatives are gradually moving from pilot projects into real-world implementation.
We'll make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work.
Western countries are rapidly developing their own digital ID programs. The UK has announced a national digital ID scheme.
We need to be really clear. You must have ID, mandatory digital ID, in order to work.
This technology has advanced amazingly. To make the most of this new and revolutionary technology.
The British people view this whole digital ID as an Orwellian nightmare.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are pushing digital ID on these people. And then they'll be able to control your movement and control you entirely.
This is your wake-up call. This is about building a centralized, state-controlled digital identity system that could be used, will be used, to link your finances, your medical history, your travel movements, your social media activity, even your social activity in real life, and more. It's quite frankly a digital dog tag, and once it's clipped around your neck, you will not be able to take it off.
Government-imposed digital ID.
There's a coordinated global policy push for digital IDs. One of the main reasons for this coordinated global push to develop digital IDs is because it's deemed essential to the entire Sustainable Development Agenda. It's also known as Agenda 2030.
Europe's digital transformation by 2030.
Governments, banks, and tech companies around the world envision a future where every person has a digital ID, living in a society where everything is digitized, monitored, and managed.
We want to offer to Europeans a new digital identity.
They're basically proposing to have a bunch of your information in one place connected to a digital identity. It's about building the infrastructure of control so that then you can control people's behavior.
In which you will have to have a digital ID to live your life. So the right to work, then the right to rent, banking, education, childcare, voting.
Money could soon evolve into a global central bank digital currency, eliminating cash and allowing every transaction to be tracked by governments, banks, and tax authorities. Your digital wallet would be linked to your ID card. The president of the European Central Bank says that the euro is moving towards a digital currency.
And we work very hard on making sure that we have a digital euro so that we have a European solution. So why not our currency as well?
Well, once you have the digital money system, then there's all sorts of services and applications that can be built on top of that.
Yeah, people are pushing in a very obvious and very specific direction. They want digital currency, centralized digital currency that they control, and they want to get everybody on a social credit score system. They're probably connected to some sort of a vaccine app. Or if you want to travel around, all they would need is another pandemic to try to push that shit through.
Digital ID is the end of democracy as we know it, and an irreversible step into a dystopian future.
This new digital identity wallet will be used with a new kind of digital money. Unlike Bitcoin, which is decentralized and not controlled by anyone, this digital money, called a CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency, is created and managed directly by central banks.
A central bank would directly issue a CBDC, and then that's the currency that the people would be using in wallets that are managed by the central bank. Prominent central bankers have been going on about the need to create a new financial system and a new financial governance system.
A digital euro, for example, will make it easier for companies and consumers alike.
Banks already maintain massive data points, determining your access to loans and mortgages. With digital currency and a world without cash, banks gain real-time visibility into every payment, every person, company, and the entire economy. Fueled by AI, this vast stream of data gives them a new kind of superpower. And surely, it's hard to imagine that the West would turn this system into a Big Brother-style digital prison like China's, isn't it? Western democracies have far stronger legal safeguards, privacy laws, and oversight than China's surveillance state. But every crisis gives governments new reasons to expand control.
Spreading from Wuhan, China, and tonight that first case here in the U.S.
Each emergency, from pandemics to terrorism, makes increased monitoring seem necessary. The pandemic accelerated the rollout of vaccination cards in the West.
Give Europeans back the freedoms they value and cherish so much. This certificate is a symbol of an open and digital Europe. The European Union certificate is a prime example of digital tools that represent our values. A growing number of European countries are imposing restrictions on people who have not been vaccinated.
Without a vaccination certificate, People often couldn't work, attend university, or enter gyms and restaurants.
Access to trains, domestic flights, and restaurants and bars will only be allowed for the fully vaccinated, recently recovered.
I have the app on my phone. I show that I've been vaccinated. Buongiorno.
If you didn't have a card to present, entry was denied. They were effectively locked out of daily life. Millions were excluded from social or professional activities, and many even lost their jobs for lacking a certificate.
Demonstrators in France, Italy, and Australia took to the streets this weekend.
All right, let's go into this
against
thing,
vaccination pass.
All right, let's go and get it. So what's going on here is this in 2020 they had to create a pandemic order out of chaos to get people to be on board to take that juice. And a lot of people died from that, perished from that, taking that shot. And see, these global elite, man, they want to continue their power, so they got to create a crisis in order to make people react. Let me see, let's go right here. Let's start right here. I wonder why are they creating all these crises? It's because they want to maintain their power and keep Jake ass in sin. Keep Jake in sin, then they stay on top. And they know they at the end of the road of their rulership. Let's start right here in Revelation chapter 13, verses 10. And it reads, so Revelation chapter 13, verse 10 is a judgment verse, not a comfort verse. And it establishes divine balance. It explains the captivity is not random, but measured by the Most High. The verse confirms that the same system that enslaves will itself be enslaved. Okay? This is the law of recompense operating inside prophecy. The verse speaks directly to imperial powers. The individuals are acting alone. It shows that global domination through force has a set expiration date. And we're approaching it. It said the beast system rises through violence and control, and it's ready to go out with violence. Okay? It falls by the same standard it used to rule. This is what we seeing like with all these ICE agents. It said the scriptures the scripture is also instructional for the saints. It explains why patience is required. Instead of retaliation, judgment belongs to Yahweh, not to flesh. The faithful are told to endure and not revolt prematurely. Okay? This verse reveals the captivity is an instrument of judgment, not just oppression. Yahweh uses captivity to humble nations and test his people. Okay, no empire escapes this cycle. The beast is not exempt. Revelation chapter 13, verse 10 separates a spiritual understanding from emotional reaction. Those without wisdom seek revenge immediately. Those with understanding wait on prophecies to be fulfilled. Okay, this verse defines who truly has faith. So let's get it. It said Revelation chapter 13, verse 10, it said, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Okay, here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So the beast system led nations into captivity through conquest, slavery, debt, and wars. And war. This includes physical slavery and modern economic enslavement. The verse makes clear that this role will reverse. The captive will become the captive. He that killeth with the sword identifies militarized empires. It said this includes colonial powers and modern military superstates. It said their authority is built on violence. The same violence will return upon them. Okay, the sword today is not only steel, but technology, drones, sanctions, and proxy wars. The beast enforces obedience through fear. It said Revelation confirms that enforcement invites destructive power. It said, invites destruction. Power becomes the cause of its own downfall. Okay, this verse explains why the saints are not commanded to overthrow the beast physically. The Most High has already sentenced it. Human intervention would disrupt prophecy. Faith means trusting divine timing. So here's the patient means endurance under injustice. The saints must temporarily, it said temporarily, while prophecy mature. Okay, this suffering is not a defeat. It is preparation for judgment. So the faith of the saints is not belief without evidence. It is confidence in prophetic patterns repeating. Okay, empire, it said every empire that enslaves Israel fell violently. Revelation confirms the final empire will do the same. Okay, it said this verse dismantled the illusion of permanent power. The beast appears unstoppable. Yahweh declared it temporary. Its destruction is already written. Okay. Supporting precept to that is Isaiah chapter 30, verses 1. And it reads, it says, woe to thee that spoileth, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealeth treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. See, so so all these nations finna spoil them. You know, spoil Esau ass. Because he's the one that's been doing all this here. Spoiling all nations, taking their land and resources, taking their inheritance and calling themselves by them the same people, you know? Like us, for instance. Okay, it said treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So Isaiah chapter 33 verses 1 confirmed the same law of recompense revealed in Revelation 13:10. Those who spoil nations without resistance will themselves be spoiled. Treachery always return to its source. Okay? The beast is living on borrowed time, see? That's right. It said this precept proves revelation is not new. It's not a new doctrine, but fulfilled pattern. Yahweh has always judged empires this way. The end time system only fulfilled what was already declared. Judgment is consistent, precise, and unavoidable. Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. Okay, it says, it's Revelation chapter 13, verse 11 introduces a second power structure within the beast system. This power marks a transition from overt military dominance to deceptive authority. This ship, the ship is from force to persuasion. This is where spiritual manipulation replaces open violence. The appearance of this beast is intentionally misleading. It looks harmless, righteous, and familiar. Its form mimics innocence while hiding predatory intent. This deception is central to its success. Okay, the two horns like a lamb indicates religious, moral, and ideology appeal. The beast does not conquer by armies first. It conquers minds. Say what? It conquers minds, beliefs, and consciousness. Consciousness. Its authority depends on trust, not fear, at least initially. Speaking as a dragon exposes its true source. Though it appears gentle, its voice carries satanic authority. Its doctrine aligns with the dragon's agenda. This contrast reveals the nature of the deception in the last days. And see, we in the last days, you see? Okay, it says here, Revelation chapter 13, 11 warns that the saints not to judge power by appearance. This beast is more dangerous than the first. It enforces the beast system through ideology and belief. Discernment becomes a survival skill. Okay, let's get it. Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake, say what? And he spake as a dragon. So another beast means a distinct authority operating alongside the first beast. It is not separate in purpose, only in function. Together they form a complete control system. One rule bodies, and the other rule mind. It said coming out of the earth suggests a system rising from within established civilization. This is not foreign invasion. It is domestic, internal, and familiar. It grows gently, sloppy. It grows quietly among the people. The lamb-like horns symbolize false righteousness. This beast imitates the the Messiah outwardly. It claims a morality, peace, and salvation, yet it lacks true obedience to Yahweh. Okay? Speaking as a dragon means its doctrine aligns with Satan's objectives. Okay, its policies, laws, and teaching opposes divine truth. Okay, the voice reveals what the appearance hides. Words exposes allegiance. This beast represents false religion, ideological systems, and institutional morality. It blesses the beast's action and justifies its rule. Without this beast, the system could not sustain itself. Deception is its primary weapon, okay? This verse explains why many are deceived willingly. The beast does not always coerce. It convinces people that submission is righteous. False peace become captivity. So Revelation chapter 13, verse 11 identified the greatest threat as spiritual deception. The saints are warned to least, it said, to test spirits, not admire appearance. This beast prepares the world for total compliance. Its success depends on ignorance, see? So this is what these devils coming with. And let's watch more of this video. Oh, here we go.
Vaccination passes and new lockdown measures.
A new coronavirus contact tracing app in an effort to track the spread of COVID-19 across the country.
When COVID was happening, there was this push for vaccine passports, and a lot of the people that were pushing or creating the vaccine passports were part of this, either ID 2020, or they were part of related entities pushing for digital ID.
In many countries, digital systems were used to track COVID-19 cases and vaccination status, and in some cases to monitor general compliance with lockdown measures through mobility or contact tracing data.
We have algorithms that automatically recognize certain behaviors. If someone isn't wearing a mask, for example, we immediately detect this wrongdoing.
To market US, the global artificial intelligence market is expected to almost 19x in size over the next 9 years. But many of the companies building next-generation AI applications are not publicly traded, where Fundrise comes in as a sponsor of this video. Their venture capital.
National Police Service sending to banks the names of people involved in protests.
In Canada, peaceful citizens who protested outdoors against pandemic measures had some of their bank accounts frozen. A striking parallel to China.
I mean, you think about the political risks of freezing accounts. This is a very tricky area.
These cases suggest that, under certain circumstances, the West has the capacity to deploy such systems against segments of the population in the name of the greater good. Whether during a pandemic, a terrorist attack, or efforts to reduce crime or environmental impact, tracking people's behavior, movements, or even thoughts might be considered reasonable.
But just think back to what happened to the during the pandemic. A lockdown happens. You're meant to go for one walk a day. This is giving out to the government data and movements and whatever else, which is deeply, deeply worrying.
As you say, during the pandemic, if you've been identified as a 2-walk-a-day person, or maybe you chose not to get vaccinated, well, then you are denied access to XYZ. I do not want to give that power to a government that has consistently proven not only untrustworthy, but authoritarian.
The groundwork for digital ID systems was established well before COVID-19. Among the most influential initiatives was one launched in 2016 called ID 2020. Its founding partners included Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, the Rockefeller Foundation, and others. The World Economic Forum has been very open about its vision of humanity as a digital society.
Our future competitiveness depends on AI adoption.
Europe is one step closer to bringing in its insidious digital ID.
Enter the EU Digital Identity Wallet that enables you to identify yourself to public and private services.
In the name of saving the planet, proposals have been discussed about tracking each person's digital footprint, monitoring factors such as travel, fuel usage, and even consumer habits like clothing purchases. It really comes across as if the West is quietly building its own version of a dystopian system. Europe is set to collect biometric data, making airports permanent biometric checkpoints.
Travel into the European Union is about to get stricter as a new digital system is rolled out this October. We'll have their fingerprints and their faces scanned.
You are going to need to register your details. Photo successful and marvellous.
Both in China and in European countries, AI-powered surveillance cameras track faces, gestures, and movements everywhere.
The growth of facial recognition and what it's capable of brings with it a host of privacy and civil liberties issues.
Even the car you drive is constantly logged in a giant database.
So at the same time as a facial biometric digital ID is being made mandatory for every single person in the country, cameras are being introduced that scan your facial biometric.
Because what we're effectively talking about here is a Chinese social credit score, isn't it?
Whether it falls into a full-blown Chinese-style social kind of credit system, who knows? But it feels less laughable today, doesn't it, than it probably did, 5 years ago.
Are we already living in a world where our privacy is so compromised that this really doesn't add a great deal to it?
Every day, more and more of your life is digitalized and centralized into huge databases.
By 2030, all EU citizens should have access to electronic health records.
Many countries already have digital ID systems, and these are gradually evolving into more centralized frameworks for managing health, taxes, and travel. There's no denying that these digital ID systems can be extremely convenient. No long lines, paperwork, or bureaucracy. You can file your taxes, schedule doctor appointments, and store all your documents in a single, fast, and easy-to-use digital system.
And to interact with...
See, that's what they want, man. They want you to, they trying to enslave you. You're going to become a slave to this totalitarian how should I word it? To this digital beast system that they got set up. Okay, let's get some more precept. Let me see where we stopped at. So Revelation chapter 13 verse 11 identified the greatest threat as spiritual deception. The saints are warned to test the spirit, not admire appearances. It said this beast prepares the world for total compliance. See, its success depends on ignorance. So they want you to be ignorant to what's going on. Okay, 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14, it said, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So this precept directly explains that the lamb-like appearance as the second beast, Satan, does not rule openly as darkness at first. He disguises lies as virtue. Okay? Deception, it said deception is most effective when it feels righteous. Okay, Revelation chapter 13, verse 11 fulfills the principle on a global scale. The beast system cloaks domination, immorality, and compassion. Those without discernment accept bondage as progress. This is the final deception before judgment. Okay? So we need this thing to go on and happen, man. For them to go on and implement this here so we can get the hell out of here, man. We ready to go home. Start with the elder apostles and bishops and like-minded men on down myself, man. We tired of this place, man. Okay, so the two horns of Revelation 13:11 are precise. So in prophecy, the horns never mean animals. Horns represent power, authority, and the ruling influence. Specifically, they point to institutions, offices, or systems that exercise control. When you see horns, you are looking at who has the right to rule. That's Daniel chapter 7, verse 24. Let's get that. Daniel chapter 7, verse 24. It said, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise and shall rise after them. It said, sloppy, and another shall rise after them, and shall be, he shall be diverse from the first, and shall subdue the three kings. Let me read it again. I butchered it. It said, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and shall subdue the three kings. Okay? So the two, it said the number two. So why two horns, not one, not 10? It said the two horns signify the dual authority working together. This beast does not rule by a single structure. It rules by two coordinated powers that appears righteous and lamb-like. They balance each other and legitimize one another. So right now, So you got the Republican and the Democrat party, you know. Two of the same what should I say? Wings. Okay, two of the same wings. And they function just alike, but they, you know, one bring order and the next one bring chaos, and vice versa. Okay, it says here, it said, this is why the beast looks harmless. Authority is split, not centralized openly. So what the two horns precisely represent, horn religious and moral authority. It said this horn represents spiritual legitimacy, organized religion, moral law, ethical narratives. It said God is on our side ideology, okay? It said this tells the people what is right and wrong. It sanctifies policies, wars, systems, and obedience without this horn. The beast, it said the beast would look openly evil. This is how the beast gets pastors, institutions, and beliefs. It said, and belief systems to bless domination. Okay, 2. It said horn 2. It says civic ideological authority. This horn represents the civil righteousness, democracy, human rights, progress, security, and safety narratives. This horn tells the people submission is for their own good. It frames control as protection. It makes resistance look immoral. This is how the beast convinces the masses that captivity equals freedom. So why, it said why they are like a lamb. The lamb is associated with innocence, peace, and salvation. The horn imitate the authority of Yahushua without possessing his spirit. They look gentle, they sound compassionate, they promise safety, but they do not lead to repentance. They lead to compliance. Why it speaks as a dragon, it says, though the horns look lamb-like, the voice betrays the source. So enforcement, threats, surveillance, and punishment for disobedience. So once belief is established, it said once belief is established, the dragon's voice emerges. The mask come off. This is what we're seeing right now. Control become absolute. Okay, key supporting precepts, Daniel chapter 8, verses 20. Let's get that. It said, the ram which thou hast, it's Salapi. It said, the ram which thou sawest, having two horns, are the kings of the Media and Persia. Okay? Let's get Matthew chapter 24, verses 24. Come on now. Matthew chapter 24, verses 24. And it reads, it said, for there shall rise false messiahs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall receive the very elect. So they're gonna deceive the very elect. They doing that right now. So false spiritual authority working alongside political power. Okay, let's get that Revelation 13 verses Revelation chapter 16 verses 13. It said, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So this second beast is later named the false prophet that confirms the religious deception role of the horns. Talking about the Catholic Church. So the 2 horns, so bottom line, for your, it said, the 2 horns are not random symbolism. They are religion plus civic ideology working as one system. They look like salvation, but enforce domination. They imitate righteousness while speaking Satan's agenda. Okay. So Revelation 13:12, same discipline, same format, no shortcuts. This verse is foundational because it's explained how the second beast enforces the first. So Revelation chapter 13 verses 12 revealed a working relationship between the two beasts. The second beast does not replace the first. It serves, amplifies, and legitimizes the first beast's power. This verse explains coordination, not competition. That's what I want to say. I don't know why I'm struggling with these words today. It said the scriptures show that authority is exercised indirectly. The second beast rules on behalf of the first. It functions as an enforcer through influence rather than raw force. This is how global compliance is achieved. Okay, the phrase before him indicates visibility and public cooperation. Nothing is hidden between these two powers. Their alliance is intentional and structured. The world witnesses their unity. Without understanding is danger. So worship is the central objective of this verse. Worship does not mean prayer alone. It means submission, loyalty, trust and dependence that the beast demands allegiance disguised as a necessity. So Revelation chapter 13 verse 12 shows how a deception matures into obedience. First comes persuasion, then normalization, and finally enforced loyalty. This verse marks the shift from influence to mandate, see? And that's what we waiting on. Because once they mandate this thing, man, then that's when the Lord gonna return and destroy the devil. Revelation chapter 13 verses 12, and he exercised all power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the beast whose deadly wound was healed. So he exercised all power means delegated authority. The second beast has no power of its own. It borrowed legitimacy from the first beast. This makes it appear lawful and necessary. The verse confirms that the second beast is an administrator, is operationalized the beast system, laws, policy, and doctrines are its tools. Okay, control is exercised through systems, not chaos. Causes the earth shows global reach. This is not regional power. The entire world is brought under influence. No nation remains untouched. Okay, worship here means total allegiance, and this is what they are trying to accomplish. It's an economic reliance, political loyalty, and ideological agreement all qualify. People submit not because they love the beast, but because survival demands it. Worship becomes transactional. Okay, it says the deadly wound being healed refers to revival of imperial dominance. Okay, Rome being revitalized. It says systems once thought fallen return stronger. So this resurrection convinced the world of inedibility, resistance begins to feel pointless. So the healing of the wound creates a trust permanence. People believe the system cannot fail. That belief becomes foundational of obedience. Hope is transferred from Yahweh to institution. The verse exposes false security. The beasts appear restored and unstoppable. This is a revived Roman Empire. Coming back, they came back into power right around the Renaissance period. Okay, but prophecy showed the restoration is temporary. See, its rule is temporary. The healing is permitted only to complete judgment. Daniel chapter 8, verse 24 again. It said, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people, talking about us, the Israelites. So, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper, and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. So Daniel confirmed that the beast's authority is a delegated and not inherent. Power flows from a darker source. This explains why the second beast can exercise power without appearing dominant. Authority is hidden behind systems. The destruction of the holy people tied directly to enforced worship. Compliance is demanded at the expense of the obedience to Yahweh. In Revelation 13 verse 12 sets the stage for persecution. And that's what's going on now. We're in Jacob's trouble. It's going to get worse. It said this is administrative. This is administrative warfare against the saints. I watch some more video before I get the last. And I finish watching this video. Then we'll close. After I get done breaking down Revelation 13, 16. How much time we in? Okay.
Across the European Union.
In the future, your digital ID could serve as the key to accessing the internet. At least, that's increasingly being discussed.
Every month, this Airbnb pays me about $2,700 in semi-passive income. Now, here's the thing.
The internet. At least, that's increasingly being discussed.
An identity that ensures trust and protects users online.
Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has called for an end to online anonymity.
And force all these platforms to link every user account to an European digital identity wallet.
What's Sanchez's proposal? To link all social media accounts to a European digital identity wallet.
We are that close to a situation where you basically need a digital ID to go online. For example, your online activity will be linked to a digital ID, or certainly there will be people calling for that.
And Europe is already planning to gain access to scan people's messages.
The EU's plan to scan private messages and flag to the police any content suspected of being child sexual abuse.
The big problem here from privacy activists is that everyday users are going to be exposed to a whole new vulnerability, which is the breaking of their end-to-end encryption services.
These programs, mass surveillance, is not about public safety. It is not about terrorism. It is about power. It is about economic espionage. It is about diplomatic manipulation, and it is about social influence.
In the UK, internet authorities constantly monitor online discourse and can arrest individuals based on their posts.
She's basically viewed a post, which is not an arrestable offence.
The only thing is, we need to seize the phone at this current moment. Your daughter will get arrested.
For what? Viewing a social media post? Is that?
need to go with that in order to.
No, absolutely not.
What should we do?
Prevent distraction. I would like you to leave now. I'd like you to leave.
This is why you're.
Okay, I have nothing more to say to you.
People are taking a stand against this
there go ship right there. This is what they trying to do.
People in the UK have signed a petition opposing this digital ID system.
The second episode is in production. Visit digitaldystopiafilm.com to support our next film on digital ID.
This is where we at, folks. Okay, I'm gonna bring out this last. I'm gonna get this last precept, and then we're gonna close with a prayer. My ear was itching. Yeah, I'm getting sleepy. Let me go break down this Revelation. I was gonna do the whole thing, but let me just go and jump down to Revelation 13:16. And get that at least. So Revelation 13:16, Revelation 13:16 introduces compulsory economic submission. This verse is not symbolic fluff. It describes how control is enforced practically. Survival becomes conditional. The beast no longer relies on belief alone. It now controls access. This verse explains how obedience is normalized through daily transactions. See, this is what she was showing. This is what this whole thing is all about. Getting you chipped, getting you marked. I mean, get that chip implanted inside you. Okay, economics becomes theology. Okay, the mark is not introduced as worship first, but as permission to function, permission to participate, permission to live normally. That's why they creating all these crises. Like special over here in Minnesota, bring these ICE agents in, they're gonna get worse. And those that don't, that's why I'm gonna do a part 2 to this lesson. Or I'm gonna bring it out when I get ready to come with, cause I'm gonna bring out Elder Apostle Gabar video. And he did a 2-part lesson on it, showing how they gonna use that order out of chaos to, some of us gonna be persecuted, gonna die for this thing. We're gonna become, some of us gonna become martyrs, you know, for this thing, you know. So that's why, you know, starting with the elder apostles and bishops and like-minded men on down myself, we building ourselves up in the faith, because we know exactly what's going to go down. Okay, it says here, so it said the verse, okay, the mark is not introduced as worship first, but as permission to function, permission to participate, permission to live normally. This verse removes class immunity. Okay, rich and poor are equal subject. Status does not exempt anyone. The system is universal. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 proves that the beast does not rule by chaos. It ruled by administration. The mark is bureaucratic control, masquerading as order. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, it reads, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, So he cause of all confirms coercion, not choice, participation, or its participation is mandatory. Consent is manufactured. Refusal carries consequences. The mark is a marker of authorization, not declaration. It identifies who is approved by the system. It distinguishes compliant from non-compliant. This is administrative segregation. It said the right hand represent action and labor. The forehead represent thought, agreement, and ideology. The beast demands either what you do or what you believe. This mirrors ancient covenant placed on hand or forehead. The beast copies divine structure. It replaces obedience to Yahweh with obedience to the system. This is counterfeit covenant. The mark is not introduced as evil openly. It is framed as necessary. Efficiency replaces conscience. Convenience replaces discernment. So this verse does not say people worship willingly, yet it says they receive the mark. Worship will be proven by continued participation. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 establishes identity control. See, this is what they want. You are recognized by the system or excluded from it. Exclusion equals punishment. Control is now personal. So let's get Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 8. It said, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thy eyes. So this proves the beast is imitating a covenant structure. The mark replaces the law of Yahweh, and what once symbolized obedience to truth now symbolizes obedience to power. The beast always counterfeits, never creates. Okay. So with all that being said, man, I'm gonna shut it down, man. I'm getting sleepy. So I hope y'all edified with the lesson, and may and like I said, that chip is that RIF microchip. That's what it RIFD chip microchip. RIFD is a microchip. Okay. Hey, let me go ahead and lay down and give you some more sleep. I didn't get that much sleep today. So I hope y'all was edified. So with all being said, let's get a prayer in. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call lawyer. Yahweh Bahashem. Yahweh Shai. Bahashem. B'kar Kadash. All heavenly praise and honor and glory go to Yahweh. Bahashem. Yahweh Shai. Bahashem. B'kar Kadash. And second, I'd like to give double shouts and double honor to all the elder apostles and bishops and priests out of GMS who rule well. Double shouts and double honor to all the elders. And third, I would like to say shalom, shalom, shalom to all the like-minded men on down as myself that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity. I'd like to say shalom to you all as well. And fourth, I like to say shalom, shalom, shalom to all the like-minded sisters that's remaining silent in the Lord, in the assembly of the Lord, and learning in silence and teaching the younger women. And with all being said, I hope may Yahweh Hashem Yahweh shall be with us all as we go further into the great tribulation. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm out.